Hello everyone and welcome back to Abundant Automation. Hell, I haven't said those words in quite some time. I have to say, Factorio kind of fell out of favor with me for no particular reason. Around the time that patch 0.13 arrived, which it brought a whole slew of new things and interesting and exciting upgrades to do, but for some reason I just couldn't bring myself to play with it a whole lot. At least not in this factory. I wanted to start a new save. I even tried so on this stream, but I got thoroughly trolled by the new vanilla map generation. So I just left it be, played some other games. But today it struck me that I want to play Factorio. So we're not starting a new game, we are still in the Abundant Automation factory proper, as can be seen here in all its glory. And I think we'll just continue right where we left off last time, of which I'm not 100% certain where exactly that was, but I suppose we will find out. I did walk around for a couple of minutes off camera to find out where we are, like at all, what needs to be done, and what was already done. And I think I'll just, for the beginning of this stream, head down that list. There's still a bit of upgrading towards 0.13 to be done. Mainly the rail yard is still a mess over here. If we just take a look, all of these stations are still set up to be 0.12 stations. So we'll definitely want to work on that. And it also says on my list, well, I could just read it if I have it here. It also says scale up science, because we have a bunch of science to do, and this is really not sufficient, I have to say. Then there's still some speed moduling to be done with the oil outposts. And speaking of outposts, we also need to design new ones. Because the way we have it right now, we can't really use those outposts anymore, because they are, once again, for the old train system, and not the patch 0.13 one. I also want to upgrade the remainder of the smelting area up here, but that's not really a high priority because we're not requiring any immense throughput just yet. Also, in the same vein, and probably with about the same priority, there's still a bunch of yellow and red belts in the base that would want to be upgraded. And then, of course, as always, probably shouldn't even put that on the list, but it's still there. It says claim more resources. But that's always a thing in Factorio, isn't it? So one thing after the other, I think we'll just start at the very top of that list, and that is scaling up science. Oh yes, and one other thing, the last stream we did, the first stream with patch 0.13, where I started by upgrading the unloading stations up here and did some expanding on the smelting area, if I recall correctly. We did only play with RSO for map generation and all other mods disabled, because that was patch day and basically no mod was available, like at all. But for this time I reinstalled Evo GUI, as you can see here. I also reinstalled Auto Trash and Yarm. From what I could discern, we have to research Yarm once again, but that's not really that much of a problem. Also, apparently there was another one of those hotfix patches. I think we're up to 0.13.9 by now. That did something to the tech tree, which means that right now we apparently don't know how to make stack inserters, but we have all the tech for them, and we can actually make them. So that's a little odd, but we will get through all of these in time. So yeah, that's that. And I also reinstalled the file. Trying to think of any other mod that I'm missing right now, but none comes to mind. These are the most important ones. Auto Trash, Yarm, EvoGUI and file. All back in the game. And ready to roll. Right, speaking of ready to roll, we want to roll another set of laboratories. For that we want some yellow belts. Just a couple. And some gear wheels. Whoops. Alright. And also some green circuits. Alright, how many labs do we want? I think we'll just double up on this. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 20. So let's do another 20 on top of that. Right, hang on. That's not enough. Not enough gear wheels. By a long shot. And another 10. There we go. Whilst those are producing, we can just about get to work on putting down the power for them. Yeah, I think in the interest of symmetry we will line them with those blue science producers. Just so that my mind is at ease. There we go, that'll be that. And right in the center, going up to here, will be the supply belts. It looks a little unnatural going from yellow to blue. And having said that, why don't we just start a little bit of a nonsensical upgrade, but an upgrade nonetheless. And there we are, out of blue belts. Which is, as I just realized, again one of those things that don't really fly well with the logistics system just yet. So we have to scrape by with what we can find here in the outpost builder. Yeah, I think we'll probably have to redesign most of this in some form or another. It really is a shame, but what you gonna do? Given that we spent quite a lot of time, I think it was 2 full episodes, spent on just figuring out what goes where and how to pack these trains. Oh well. All right, so in other news, lights. Seems about right. And for the very last part, also, why don't I use robots for this? I do not know. What I do know is that I haven't played Factorio in about 3 weeks now, I think. So, give me a break here. Man's got to do some manual labor once in a while before he can really appreciate automated work again. Right, there we go. Other news, how are we looking on alien goo? I do wonder. Still 200 on the bank. Or in the bank, or whatever you want, wherever you want it to be. And that's gonna be that. I doubt we would be able to maintain full throughput on these. But we will see. Okay. So that's scaling up science. Let me just quickly go up to my list and in a very satisfied manner strike out scaling up science. And now it says fix the rail yard. I think we'll hold off on that for just a little bit, because filling up oil outposts with modules seems like a bit of a higher priority task to me. So we will do that. But before we do so, I think it's also about time. Right, let's talk quickly about mid to long-term plans for this campaign. So we invested, so far we did invest, it says 1 day here, let's quickly, there we go. We invested close to 27 hours into this save, and we're pretty far in. The only fundamental thing that we could do with this factory now, the only fundamental upgrade, would be to take the whole factory and module it up. Essentially productivity module everything, so that we can then, well, just be in the really end game. But what I think I want to do is skip that step altogether and immediately go to a more megalomaniac approach, more megalomaniac goal, which is to say I want to do a dedicated smelter somewhere, maybe here, maybe down here, maybe, I don't know, somewhere. And I want to funnel all of the ores into there, make that the thing that is able to do, like, I don't know, whatever amount of tens of thousands of plates per minute you need, and then build it from there, instead of just fixing and upgrading and tinkering with this base forever. So I think we'll call this base, this local base, finished once we have everything produced, which is pretty much now, and once we have everything running at a steady pace and producing modules, basically. And then once we have that, we will go ahead and start building whatever it is we will be calling the main factory after that. So yeah, so much for sort of the plan for this series. For now, what that means is I'll want to... I want you to work. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Oh, alright, that was a rocket silo. Let's get back to Yarm. Right, why are you... Turn this entity on only when the condition is true. Less productivity module 3 then. Right, what's the problem here? There's prod module 3's in here. Oh, that's interesting. I never really experimented much with the new logistics and circuit system anyway, so I don't know exactly what it is we're doing here. But what's the problem here? So I'm taking out all of these. It says you're... No, that's the circuit network connected to network 141. But you're obviously... You're obviously inside the network, same as this inserter. Why are you not working? Let's just reset you, shall we? Maybe it's something to do with just the new system. Right, so we want you to work. Oh, that's interesting. So you can, by default, you just say it's not connected to anything, and now you can set it up to connect to the logistics network. Do you need to do this here too? No, most likely not. Alright, but why do you not work? Productivity 3, less than 500. Do you need to filter you by productivity 3? Apparently we do. Alright. Can live with that. It's kind of a change of mode of operation, but no, I can live with it. Same thing probably applies here. I guess that means we'll have to check up on all the filter inserters, doesn't it? Any of them still work? Alright, there's no filtering going on here. There's also no filtering here. These probably do have a problem. Yep. There we go. You do yellow splitters, you do yellow belts, and you do yellow underground belts. All right, let's just quickly do this before we continue on. Yeah, you're doing train stops, you're doing locos, cargo wagons. Right, no filtering's going on here. This, though... Well, let's do it just this way. Thing here is, they did remove, in case you're unaware, they did remove curved tracks with 0.13 altogether. So what you're doing now is not spin a track 10 times, you just click on the end of one track, and then you kind of point to the way you want it to where you want it to be, and then you can just take it from there. And I think you could, yeah, if you shift click, you can do longer stretches without any problems at all. Kind of makes the file superfluous in a way, but then again not, because you can't, at least to my knowledge, you can't do signals and power poles automatically. But it is a very nice feature nonetheless. There's no way around that. Right, you are oil refineries, chem plants, pump jacks, small pumps. God, how do you know you played this game for too long? You don't play it for 3 weeks, and you still know every location of every item in every tab. Right, your logistics bots and your construction bots.